secret counsel of the wicked, the secret counsel of the Edomites, you know, because the wicked are the Edomites, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. Who whet their tongue like a sword because they want to put us to death. They pass particular legislation that shows they want to put us to death. They want to get rid of us. And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, because words are weapons. All right. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect by way of their legislation. You know, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Now, you know, to balance it out, Esau Edom, he wants to destroy Jake, period. But also, a lot of you Jakes, you're too far gone in this man's system anyway. You know, it's to the point to where you're beyond repair. You know, they already got you, man. So when we read this right here, when we read it with understanding, we understand that they mainly want to get the elect. Esau Edom mainly wants to get the elect because they already got 2/3 of our people. All right. And as of right now, when it says the perfect are the Israelites of the hopeful elect. The Israelites that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, beginning with the prophets. You know? So it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Now, they mainly want to come for us, but we have to understand it's the time of Jacob's trouble as a whole, because all of our people are going to be affected by this time. All right. Now, the main point I wanted is verse 5 and verse 6. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, dealing with their NWO agenda. They commune of laying snares privily. Yeah, these different traps they set for Jake, you know. They say, who shall see them? Because here it is, they poison our food, they poison our water. Okay. They turned our women against us. They've done all these horrible things against our people, and they're still going. But this is the point right here, verse 6. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Why? Because they are psychologists. They study the spirit. You know, they knew by them giving Jake these benefits, them give you this, we'll say the king's meat. You know, I want to quote that from the book of Daniel, you know, you know what I'm saying? They know by them giving you these particular benefits, this will make you completely trust in their system. All right. And as beloved brother's been saying, Esau Edom's going to pull the rug from under you Jakes, man. You're going to be stripped of all comfort. All right. They search out iniquities because they want you, Jake, to sin. You know, they want you to go off. Because guess what? Although they gave you these goodies, right? They gave you the SNAP benefits. They gave you food stamps. But let's say they take it away. They threaten you with taking it away. If you go inside a Walmart, you know, Wally World, a Trader Joe's, wherever you go, you know, it's a few different stores. You know, well, Jay go to all these different stores. They even go to a lot of stores the Edomites shop at. You know, whether it be Whole Foods or whatever. You know, Target. Guess what? If you Jays go up in there and you call yourself stealing, you're committing iniquity, man. You know, you're going off. All right. And at the end of the day, Esau Edom wants to put you in a position where you're going off so they can have reason to accuse you to the Heavenly Father. And also so they can have a reason to bring that wrath against you. Okay. To lock you up. Okay. And ultimately, you know, that they're gonna bring that full force against you in the time of Jacob's trouble. And full blown out Jacob's trouble. Because right now we're in the beginning of it. These are the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. All right. But you have what's called problem, reaction, solution, pressure from above and pressure from below. You know, so by them putting you in a position of uncertainty, them taking away benefits they gave you, ultimately, you know, you tribes, you're showing this devil you're going to react in a way that, okay, now you give us a reason to bring that force against you, you know. And going back to what we had read earlier, this man studies the spirit. Esau Edom studies your spirit. Okay. Now they know how you're going to react already, but you're also showing them how you're going to react. You know? So back in Psalm 64:6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. They know everything about Jake, man. You know? Because you are their Frankenstein. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, primarily in North America, Babylon the Great, you are the Frankenstein of the so-called white man. Okay? So they know you like the palm of their hand. You know? Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. An endless list of videos pertaining to people crashing out. You know? But yeah, I pray this video was edifying. Abaratazah, Father will. You know? Hey, it's over with, man. This place is done, okay? But you know what the Lord is showing us? He's showing us that eventually we're going to have to unplug from this man's system anyway. Because when the hour of temptation comes, when we're all presented with the RFID CHIP, okay, and also the one they want to put in your head, the brain-computer interface, when we're all presented with that, you already have to have the mind to unplug. You have to be ready to let this place go, okay? You got to be ready to let it go, man. But yeah, I pray this is edifying, you know. The Wadi Halbashim Al Shai. A brother put up a precept, and it's a spirit because I wanted to get this, man. This is the spirit. I'm going to get all three. Well, technically all four, you know. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. This put up by Amawan Ba. And Amawan means faith. The Hebrew word Amawan means faith. We're in a time we're going to need faith. We need to have faith because the time is coming. We're going to have to completely unplug from this man's system. You know, because if you got niggas crashing out right now over losing EBT, how much more are you going to crash out when the mark of the beast is made mandatory? You're really going to lose your damn mind then. But I'm going to say this. The majority of our people going to take the chip anyway. You're going to take the charagma anyway. You know? Hey, there's a countdown. You know what I'm saying? For the shutdown. And it's a countdown concerning you, Jakes, losing your EBT. You know? Yeah, man. Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, which is lawlessness. Okay? Dog eat dog. Survival of the fittest, you know? And that's not a there's not something that Darwin came up with, you know? Because when any society collapses, it's all about survival. You know, when every society goes down, when every kingdom collapses, it's all about surviving. Okay. The primary thing is how are people going to eat? How are they going to drink? Okay. How are they going to bathe themselves? You know, how are they going to stay alive? That's what it's all going to boil down to. Okay. And see, that's when people really going to wish they had listened to the Lord's prophets. You're going to really wish you had listened to the men of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? But for the majority of you, it's going to be too late, man. And because iniquity shall abound, iniquity is the breaking of the law, statutes, and commandments. We're already in a lawless society. People don't keep the laws of the Heavenly Father, but it's going to be even more of that. You know? When this society breaks down, it's going to be total anarchy, man. Pandemonium. You look that word up, it means all demons. You know, people going to lose their minds. You know, people are already mentally ill, but it's going to be even worse in this great tribulation. You know, people demonically possessed. You know, people not taking their medication. You know, the average American is bugged out. Average American is on cigarettes, you know, vaping. So, because iniquity shall abound, the breaking of the law, statutes, and commandments. It's nothing for someone to murder somebody. It's nothing for someone to steal. That goes back to the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. People are already doing it. Sleeping with their neighbor's woman. You know? Evil ass Eve, you know, you wicked ass women, you have what's called a work husband. You have what's called a side nigga. You have what's called, you know, all these different men. You got a man for damn near every day of the week. Or for a couple times out the day. You know? A man for each bill you need paid. So reading on, and because iniquity shall abound, which is lawlessness, the love of many shall wax cold. It's nothing for someone to murder someone over a bag of ice, to murder someone over baby food, you know, breaking entries. It's going to be a lot of that, a lot of home invasions. But you know what? Like the brother's channel name, we need more faith, you know. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So it's going to get worse than this, all right? It's going to get worse than this, but we have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We're going to be okay. Us hopeful elect, all right? But for 2/3 of our people, you 2 through Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. Hey, you looking at them on the screen. This is them right here. All right. These are the rebellious children, you know, through. This is them. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Because